there guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Becky and I create musical theatre videos. I do acting, singing, dancing, all of that stuff. And yeah, that's basically my channel. So today I thought I would talk about how I got my first performance job after graduating uni. So some of you may know, I'm currently in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang at the King's Theatre, Portsmouth. It's performing over April this year, so we started rehearsals in January and it's going really well. We're rehearsing Sundays and Wednesdays at the moment, which yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So yeah. I thought today I'd talk about like my audition process and yeah, that kind of stuff and what happened. So yeah, here we go. So firstly, how did I find out about the audition? Well, on the King's Theatre website, they had a post that was like, we're auditioning for this show, here are the characters. And then there was like loads of Facebook posts and stuff like that for like different community groups around my local area. So that's how I saw it. So I was like, you know what, I'll go for it. I'll keep sending out auditions this whole time. And this was the first one that I was like, okay, yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, so it asks for like your name, your age, all that kind of jazz. It asks which character you were going for. I originally put my name down for Truly Scrumptious. And then it asks you to send in your CV. So on my CV, it basically gives a description of me. It has my headshots, so different styles of headshots, that kind of stuff. It also has like what sort of performances I've done so far. So because I'm a graduate, I only have put performances that I did in uni, and then I think there was like 2 other shows that I put on there just because I knew that they were relevant to the production. So I only had like a couple of credits. And then don't worry, like if when you're graduating uni or drama school or anything like that you've only got a couple of credits, that's fine. If you're just starting out, you're not expected to have loads of credits. So yeah. But yeah, so I sent that off and sort of just waited to have a response back kind of thing. Okay, so then I got an email back through which basically said we'd like to invite you to an audition. On the email it had links, so it had a breakdown of all the characters, like a description of every single character, the age category that they're looking for those characters, and then it listed the songs that you'd need to prepare for the audition and also the acting sides that you'd need to prepare. So for Truly Scrumptious, I think her age range was like 20 to 30. So completely in my casting bracket. That's what I put as my casting bracket at the moment, is 22 to 30. I think, no, 20 to 29. So it is my casting bracket. Yeah, and so for Truly's audition, you had to sing an excerpt of Truly Scrumptious and also an excerpt of Doll on a Music Box. And they didn't give us any like choreography or anything like that. It was kind of like up to our interpretation. We had backing tracks so we could hear what key we were singing in, that kind of stuff, and we had the sheet music so we could play it at home ourselves as well. And then for the acting sides, I think it was like maybe two or 3 pages worth. Wasn't loads of lines. I think it was like maybe 9 lines all in total if you broke it down like that. But yeah, so I started preparing those and then I got ready to perform for the actual live audition. So on the day of the audition, I think it was like a Sunday or something, I was called in fairly early, and then we knew that we were going to be doing singing, dancing, acting, and then we had a dance call later. So it meant that for the audition, I packed all my dance shoes. So that's my black New Yorkers, my nude New Yorkers, my tap shoes, my tap heels, ballet shoes, and jazz shoes. I know that seems like a lot of shoes, but you never know what you're going to do in audition. So whenever you've got an audition, just bring them all and hope for the best. And then I wore, I think, black leggings, a long blue sleeved crop t-shirt, and then a black short sleeve t-shirt over the top, just because I always, with an audition, I go in with a pop of colour. I think that makes you stand out a bit more. And then I matched the top colour to my trainers, so I was like, oh yeah, it was so if the panel were trying to remember who I was, they'd be like, oh yeah, it was the girl with the blue who had the black and blue on. And then yeah, I always find it's easier if you have like a very distinct colour about you, and I find at the moment not many people are wearing blue. Don't quote me on that, because if loads of people then see this video, then we're all going to be wearing blue to auditions. So, but yeah, find a colour that you feel confident in, and yeah, that kind of thing. Anyway, So got my bag all packed, brought in the script. Always have the script with you with the lines on it. Don't assume that you know the lines. It's better to have the script in hand just in case. And that way you can just quickly look down and say the lines if you forget them, whereas if you don't have it, then you're just standing awkwardly trying to remember some lines and it's a bit awkward for everyone. So I always bring it with me. And same with sheet music as well, just in case I forget the lyrics or anything like that. It's good to have it on the side, and also means that I can go through it before my audition actually starts when I'm waiting around with everyone else. But yeah, so went to the audition day. I think there was like 15 to 17 of us who auditioned for Truly, all about my age, loads of shape, like, I know it sounds odd, but loads of different like looks for people, like not one person looked the same, which I thought was really good. But yeah, so we then were told to wait around, and then we all had like a list of what order we'd go in. I think I was quite close to the end of the list, but it was done in the order of how we applied for it. So if you applied really straight away, then you were straight into it. If you applied further down, then you were further down on the list, if that makes sense. I'm choking on my own words, Blair. But yeah, so I thought when I went into the room for my audition, I said hello to the panel. We had the director, choreographer, the MD and a pianist in the room. Now normally if you're doing a other audition, sometimes the pianist you will give the music to, but in this one case we were all auditioning for Truly. We were all singing the same stuff with the same sheet music, so we didn't have to do that. But yeah, so I stood up there. They asked me what I'd like to do first, either singing or acting. I said singing into acting because I felt like that was a nicer pick. Singing normally calms me down, so then I can talk normally afterwards. But yeah, so I sang Truly Scrumptious first and then Doll on a Music Box. For Doll on the Music Box, I did like some robotic doll like movements because the character has that kind of flair to it, so that was like my own choice to it. But yeah, and that was okay. I felt like that was all right. And then they stopped me. Well, I finished the songs and then they were like, hang on, before the acting thing, they were like, why haven't you auditioned for us before? Because this show, they've done it not this show, but they always do like a springtime musical kind of thing each year. And I was like, oh, I've been at uni and, you know, I've only just graduated. I thought I'd start doing it after I graduated kind of thing. And they were like, oh, good to have fresh faces kind of thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So it calmed me down and yeah, it was a nice environment. Yeah, and then I did my acting piece. I think it went all right. It was, the character Truly was talking to the kids, Jeremy and Jemima, so I was like using a bit more of my children's acting, children's theatre skills really. But yeah, I felt really good with those. I was really happy with it. And that was kind of my audition done. So then I was out of the room and what happened next was we waited for everyone to be done, and then everyone else who was auditioning for other roles, so that would be like Caractacus Potts, the lead, or Grandpa, or the Baron, the Baroness, a whole list of other roles. They then all turned up and we all took part in a dance workshop. So for the dance workshop, we didn't really do like a warm-up or anything. We kind of went straight into the dance and we did Toot Sweets as a movement call. So movement call basically is like, it's slightly dancey, but normally it's a very basic dance that everyone can learn and everyone should pick up quite easily. And Toot Sweets was that one for us. Now doing the show, the choreography is more complex than that, but yeah. So we started doing the dance for that and learned that, and then we were split up into little groups and then we'd perform it back. But yeah, that again I felt like went really, really well. Felt really confident with that. And then we had another dance to learn, which was the Old Bamboo, when that one was a more dancey dance. So with that one you could choose whether or not you wanted to do it. But they strongly advise anyone going for Caractacus or Truly to do those dances. And we were like, oh, okay, cool. So pretty much everyone who went for, sorry, I've got like a frog in my throat. Everyone who went for those roles did do the dance, so that was good. But yeah, and that was kind of it. We split up into groups, we did the dancing in little groups, and then they sent us home kind of thing. And then everyone else did their auditions for the other roles. So, maybe like, I want to say a week, 2 weeks max, I then heard back. I got an email through and they were like, we'd really love you to be a part of the show, be a part of our ensemble team. So I didn't get Truly, I'm a part of the ensemble. Yeah, and then they were like, we'll see you in January when we start our rehearsals, because we actually had the audition, I think it was like in November? It wasn't October, was it? No, November, I think, early November. So it was a bit of a wait till we actually started rehearsals. But now we're in it and it's great. And it now turns out that I'm in ensemble, yes, and then I'm also dance ensemble, which basically means like whenever there's like a dancey break or like a big dancey bit, I'm gonna be in that bit mainly. So yeah, so that's kind of like my audition experience of how I got my first graduate job, like my postgraduate job. So yeah, no, after graduate, postgraduate. I'm not really sure. The one that I got as soon as I finished uni, kind of thing. But yeah, so there you go. I hope this was helpful for some people. I don't know whether it will be, but you never know. And I will see you next time. Bye.